All right, so we left off last time with you guys leaving the island with the ghouls, and you've headed out, and essentially I said we were kind of cutting forward to you guys at Merthrope, but we're going to talk about where you guys are at level-wise and so on. So everybody's at 5th, right? So you've got everything updated for that?
Yep.
Okay. Scott, you cool with that? Is there anything that you added that I should know about? Any changes? You'd already taken your feats, right?
Yeah, I pretty much done everything. I took my feats. I guess I get to take another power now, so I'll probably switch.
You get another power at 5th?
Some of the classes do. You got, I believe, let me check the ranger stuff here real quick, Ben. I think you picked out a new one, a new talent at 5th. Go to that. Yeah, let's look at your powers, your character sheet. Pull that up here, Kathak. So you have archery and double ranged attack and Fey Queen enchantment, and then you also took the new one that you took was the lethal hunter one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that was your extra power that you got, the extra class talent that allows you to expand that crit range.
Right, and also I guess in between then I was supposed to get a interim update, which I didn't do yet.
Okay.
I need to do that.
Yeah, and you can check your level chart to make sure everybody's up on the stuff, because now is the time that you get the bonuses to your attack rolls and all of that stuff goes up.
I'm gonna get the next feat for the lethal hunter, which I guess would be, is that the champion feat or?
You can so at this level as a ranger,
the adventure feat.
You can take a champion level feat. Right now, if you want to take that with it.
Oh wait, so I need to get the adventure feat first or the champion feat?
No, you can just skip and just take the champion feat. At this level, you should have 4 adventurer feats and 1 champion feat. Yeah. Also, everybody should note that once you hit 5th level, the damage bonus that you get from your ability score to your weapons is doubled.
Yep, I got that in.
Yeah.
Okay, it works in
Wait, say it again? Say it again? Your bonuses from your weapons are doubled?
So, right now at this level, Ben, you get essentially a bonus based on your stat to your attacks. So, if we look here at your attack stuff, you're getting for your, for example, your range attack, your damage is your weapon damage plus your whoop, little echo there, plus your dex. So that'd be plus 5. Now it's your weapon damage 5d8 plus 10.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that just weapon damage, or does that apply to like your spell that's like plus intelligence or wisdom?
I think just to weapon damage. Oh wait, no, hang on. And it says damage bonus from ability score.
Yeah, that was like ambiguous to me.
Yeah, let me check that in the earlier part of this. What they say about that.
So, actually, you know what? Looking at this more, I think I'm going to take the archery champion feat.
Okay,
That looks good to me.
that's a little bit better. Matt, I'll take a check on and see whether that applies. I think it's just weapon damage, but I could be wrong.
Wait a minute. It says I already picked that. What the heck? Let me see.
Did you already pick the champion one?
I thought we couldn't pick one before, or how to maybe...
You got one as an interim advantage. Maybe you took it then.
Oh, yeah. Okay, maybe that's what happened. Let me see. Double range attack, toughness.
Yeah, Matt. If it says damage plus an ability, then you double that now. So that counts for spell damage as well.
So, do I get this right?
Woohoo! Good news
You
for
can,
spellcasters.
if you take an interim one, you could get the adventure and the champion. So I could have 2 champion feats.
No, you can only have 1 champion feat. An interim one means that you're taking it sort of ahead of the level.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
it isn't an extra one.
Gotcha. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, so feats. Double range attack. Double range attack. What is this? Oops.
Carl, do you want to talk about the magic item distribution?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. This is what we got. There was several things. I'll tell you what it's been taken, and so in case anybody wants it, then we can talk about it. I took a Guardian Cloak. It's +2 to PD, and when engaged with foe, I can require the foe to target me instead of targeting somebody else. And Matt took the Shield of Tenkano, which is he ignores ongoing damage or conditions. Okay, does anybody want those? Okay, no. Okay, I think Cochinelle took the Pale Mantle of Suffering. Is that right?
I didn't take
Okay,
so
did-
much as I called dibs on it if once we handle these dragon stones, if no one else has.
Okay, so that's +2
reason for it.
PD. Okay. So those are taken in case anybody else wants it. If you say something, if you want it, tell it. Okay.
Yeah, just say.
There's a Circlet of Swift Thought, which is +4 initiative, but I don't think the Circlet has any
Yes, it does. It's +2
Yes, it
mental
does.
defense.
+2 mental defense. That's right. Okay, so +2 mental defense and +4 initiative. There's the Hydra Teeth and Hydra Sphincter. Very
That's
important.
just
Wear it
treasure.
around you. The Surgeon Penitent Chalice, I assume that is going to Matt. There's 2.5 links of chain, which we have no idea what it does. There is a Chinese lantern with a brain inside, which we also don't know what it does.
Well, we kind of know what it does. It takes something akin to
that's right. That's
the
right.
Godheart material and turns it into something. Comes out in a slot.
That's okay. So then we also have a Lifestone Necklace, which is +5 to death saves, but only if the fail would kill. That's not like if you get death magic. That's only if you're dying because you got hit by hit points, right?
Exactly.
Okay. And then there's the Ring of Bloody Swath, which is if you is it just swing or can you use with arrows? You said swing.
With a single attack.
Okay, with a single attack, if you defeat 3 or more foes, like you were doing with the mooks last time, after the combat is over, you get +4 to all of your recharge.
You get plus equal to the number of persons you killed with the single attack.
Oh, okay. So, those are up. What do you, Scott? What do you want? And Ben, what do you want? Nothing is okay too. We can just take the stuff and.
Probably the circlet that gives you higher initiative, I think.
Okay. Fine. That's got it. That leaves.
I thought there's only so many items you can use, right?
Right. So
Yeah, you can
at this
only
point,
use
you
5.
can use 5.
Without negative effect, Paul.
No, at 5 you start to have the negative effect. You can't
Yes,
use more
exactly.
than that.
Oh, at 5 you do.
Oh yeah, as soon as you maxed out, you start having the quirks affect you.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So I've got 1.
Okay, I've got
2,
5 then. No, that's a potion of fortification. That doesn't count.
Right.
1.
3. Does the runestone count? Maybe I should just use those up.
No,
so that I
The
Runestones
think
do
runestones
not-
don't count.
Oh, okay. Let's see. So I've got 3 items.
No, I do have 5. Okay, so I've got 5, so I'll probably get rid of 1, and it's
Okay.
probably going to be the Guardian.
The quirk is essentially that you're affected by a personality quirk while you're carrying it. That's the thing that happens with that.
Yeah, nobody need to mess with that too much, though.
Okay.
Okay, one I'm thinking I've got a. You guys can decide on this because it's kind of affecting you guys. I can take keep the Ring of Enmity, which it gives me a +2 save on Confusion, which isn't that much, or I can take the Guardian Cloak, which I can make sure that somebody is not targeting you.
What's the Guardian Cloak do again?
Guardian Cloak gives me +2 PD, but it also makes sure that if I'm in combat with them, then I can require them to target me.
Rather than an ally who's there.
So if you're sneaking up behind them, they can say, "No, you're stuck in here with me."
I like it. You should have it.
But no, I can have either one of those without the quirk.
Oh, that one sounds better than the other one. The confusion. How often does that happen? Lowell would never do that again.
Oh God, I would.
So overplayed.
Does anybody want the Ring of Enmity or the Guardian Cloak?
What does the Ring of Enmity do?
+2 versus confusion saves. And yeah, +2 versus confusion saves.
And then if you do get confused, you can choose which of your allies you hit.
That is correct.
Oh.
That is awesome, because I know exactly who I would choose every time.
He's not playing in this game though.
Yeah.
He's in Texas.
That's true. Oh. Yeah, I mean, that's an awesome ring. I just
Okay.
don't have any slots for it, so.
We can stack stuff and see.
Well-
So
Well, I'm sorry, I had dropped.
that's okay.
You were talking about a ring that sounded kind of tanky, Carl.
The ring is just +2 versus saves on confusion. The Guardian Cloak is requiring.
Why do you
people-
always skip over the most important part of the Ring of
Oh.
Enmity?
Oh yeah, and then you get to choose who you get confused on if you get confused.
Okay.
And the Guardian Cloak is +2 PD, but you can require people to target you if you're engaged with them.
Oh, that's the cloak, though.
Hunter. Where's that written?
Well, your cloak works with your armor.
Yeah.
It's a different slot.
Yeah, my cloak right now is amazing.
Oh, that's right.
My cloak right now doesn't really, even as like if it gets out leveled, it doesn't matter because it uses my armor class attribute. So, pretty good.
I think what I'll do is I'll just keep the Ring of Enmity for right now because if I go bonsai on you guys, that'd be bad. And the other one would be nice. Okay. So, the Guardian Cloak is up for grabs.
What does the Guardian Cloak do?
Guardian Cloak, when engaged with foe, if foe targets ally, you can make them target you. Once per day, 11 plus recharge.
It's a tanky item.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah. Well, why don't you hold on to that one, Carl, and then if you decide you need to use it, you can use it. How's that sound?
Okay, sounds good.
So, Carl, let's go through what are the items, the magic items that Black Dog has right now.
Black Dog has light armor +2, helmet +1 MD, mental some other stuff, sigil sword, ring of enmity, and then the Guardian Cloak packed away. And I've got 2 rune stones and a champion level healing potion and a potion of fortification.
Okay. And you guys have those elemental oils. Somebody has those.
Oh, I don't even know what those are.
Yeah. You guys gotten in the dungeon 3 potions that allow you to add fire to an attack, and 3 potions that allow you to add cold to an attack. So that's just for general
3 elemental oil potions.
of fire and 3 of cold.
Well, those should go. I mean, like between Carl, Scott. Well, I imagine they don't work on spells, right? I think we're talking
That's
about
correct.
Weapon attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it should go to Carl, Scott,
Okay.
and Ben.
Okay, so we'll take 1 of fire, 1 of ice each.
Sounds good. Scott, what do you have magic item wise right now?
Oh, I have a dagger.
Okay.
The teleporting dagger.
Uh-huh.
I have a ring of underwater action. I have a folding boat. I have a cloak of escape. And I have a circlet of what was it called?
A circlet of swift thought.
Yes.
So you're gonna go even faster?
Yeah.
Wow. You'll be insane.
And you've got the sword put away, I assume. Or do you,
What sword?
um,
This-
you had another sword before you had the throwing dagger, right? The one you got from
Fabian?
from the prince.
Oh, I thought the dagger was the upgraded one of that.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I couldn't remember if that's what you had done with that. Reasonable. Sherry, what do you have?
What do you mean, what do I have?
Magic items.
Oh, goodness. So what I'm carrying are the 2 dragon stones,
2 dragon stones.
spectral armor,
Okay.
gloves of mind rot,
Okay.
and the locket of ancient cameo.
You didn't take the mantle of pale suffering?
Oh, I called dibs on
Oh,
it.
okay,
If I
that's
can,
right.
I got 5 items.
Okay.
I'm 5th level, so.
Ben, what do you have?
I have food in my mouth.
Okay.
Oh, I have.
That's the best magic item.
Yes.
Yes, right. Magic items. I have the bow of the north wind.
Okay.
I have the kilt of the mountains, and that's all I'm really using. There is a dagger of spell recharging, but I don't really need to use it. I'm
Okay.
not really casting spells, so.
Wait, you have a dagger of spell recharging?
Yeah, you want it?
Tell me about this thing.
Well, actually, I don't know anything about it.
I
I guess it charges spells faster or something.
It's let me look that one up.
Probably wouldn't be any good for Sharon.
Let me find that.
Should sell it.
It's under weapon.
No. That's intriguing.
Sorry, I have to look that up because that's from very early.
Or if I put a little pad. Ha. Look at that. First try, I found the. I'm gonna try to put an earplug in my headset. Maybe that'll help.
That's a good call.
Padding between my ear and the plastic.
I believe what the dagger spell recharging does is, I think it allows you to get a reroll on, or an additional roll on a spell recharge check.
But what do I have to do in order to do that? Just carry the dagger?
Yeah.
Or do I have to use it? Okay, as long as I don't have to successfully hit anyone with it,
Right.
it might be valuable to me.
Okay.
You can have it.
I'll give you the full details on that, Sherry.
Okay.
Matt, what do you have?
All right, I've got the sword. It's a +2/+2, +1d6 after the first attack. I've got the armor. That's a +1 to my defense. Then it goes to +4 if I exhaust all my recoveries.
Yes.
I've got the cloak of shelter, which lets me it lets me like basically interpose.
Right.
Right. And the amulet of light, which I had a question about.
Sure.
It's does that have a light effect on? I mean, I assume it has a light effect on it outside of the 16 plus dazing someone light.
Yes. Yeah. It can be used essentially as a simple create light utility.
It's like a lantern or something, But then the other thing is once per day, right?
Yeah.
So that was 4, and then the shield I'm taking.
Okay.
And what's the shield stats again?
The shield.
It's it's +10 hit points, and
you can ignore one condition ongoing. Essentially, you don't get to roll saves against that condition, but essentially you delay it until you stop doing it, and then the condition kicks in.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll get through and worry about the quirks and all that stuff after a bit. And you guys have the various secondary the items, the magic potions, the rune stones, all of that stuff. So there is a number of things that aren't in people's hands right now. The life stone, for example, is not. And let's see what else. There are a couple. The inspiring tunic, the ring of bloody swath. So you guys do have a number of magic items that are out there.
Well, Sherry, do you want that thing, and do you need space in your whatever in your? Are you filled up?
Inventory?
Yeah, whatever
I'm
it is.
filled up. Yeah, because I have 2 dragon stones that I'm carrying, and they take a slot.
Yeah, so you've got 3 magic items, and you've got 5 things.
Yes.
Okay. Well, if you want, I can take a quirk, and I can take one of the dragon stones from you, and sell it to the highest bidder. Oh, sorry.
Well, and conceivably Ben could carry another one of those.
Oh, does he have a slot open?
He has a couple of slots
he-
open.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have 3 slots open, actually.
Oh my gosh. Would you like a couple of dragon stones, sir?
What do they do?
Nothing. They just take up
Nothing.
a slot.
It's...
Why would I want one of those?
Because you're carrying them around because you guys are taking them to Palak to figure out what they do.
So and that's
Sure, I'll
probably.
take one.
Okay.
Are you at 4 now? Or,
We'll get rid of them soon.
I
I'm at
will
2
give
right
him
now.
the dragon stones.
well,
Let us
Then I can
assume.
take the
Let us
mantle
assume
and
for
the
the moment. I'm going to hand wave. Let us assume for the moment that dragon stones are taken care of. Okay.
Okay. Mantle of suffering. Okay, I got the mantle of suffering.
Okay.
I'm adding the PD to my
So
character. as we speak.
it only because I want it to be known that you have the spectral armor, the gloves of mind rot, and the mantle of a pale mantle of suffering.
Suffering, I know.
and the
You're
dagger.
totally not a necromancer.
Totally.
Yet she acts like I'm the weird, gross one.
Well, she is
Wait.
hanging around with an undead friend.
Actually, you probably look like the one I summoned. Raised.
So you guys have sailed on. You've made.
Oh, wait.
Yes.
One thing.
Sure.
I updated my character. You said 4 feats when 1 champion, so I cleaned up and I touched up the character, typed in all the stuff. So I've got, just so you know, I've got the archery adventure feat, the archery champion feat, the double range adventure feat, lethal hunter adventure feat, and toughness general feat.
Okay. Sounds good.
Great, thanks.
All right, so you guys have sailed on. You've made your way further and heading towards Merthrope. Now, again, to remind you of what the mission is, as Carl so eloquently put it before you guys came here.
I knew what it is. I'm just kidding.
Okay. In any case, you're heading to see Palak because he can probably answer some questions for you. He may have more information on the dungeon that you want to get to and all of that jazz. So you will travel and reach Merthrope, and this is what you guys know. It was a significant site before the collapse, and you can see as you approach there are old pillars and markers used to kind of direct boats and shipping in, and you will see that rather than come up onto a beach or anything like that, instead you'll see that there's actually a great stone arch, probably a good 150 feet wide and a good 70, 80 feet off from the water. This canal that goes inland, and you guys will set the boat into there, and probably have.
Wait, so there's a big arch and a canal?
Yeah.
The canal goes through the arch or under the arch or
Under the arch.
in the
So
arch?
let me
Okay.
if I can.
So the arch is sort of an entranceway to a boat tunnel thing,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, I'm with you.
So you guys will kind of coming in here from the water line, and this goes inland here. There are kind of cliffs up top as you guys head in. Probably could actually get that to the right color, but I'm not doing a very good job of it. But anyway, still can't. There we go. In any case, you guys will sail in. You know that this was a kind of a central important site before the collapse, but what's become of it, you're uncertain. But you will make your way in and go down this cavern. It actually gets dark in through here. You guess there might have been magical lighting on the canal before, but that seems to be in ill repair. So you'll light your various lantern and magical things, and you'll see that there are marks for buoys along the wall and cracks. You have the sense that it's a sort of canal cavern that was partially carved out and partially natural. And you will go in a ways, several minutes worth of travel, and then you'll see light ahead, and you'll come in, and the area opens up. The canal entry comes out into kind of an inland bay with cliffs around. There's a greater sort of section of city in front of you that's up on a stone mounting. There are a couple of sections there that are connected by bridges in parts. There are some port lines. There's some, looks like might have been dams or waterworks here. And you can see back in the far distance past that are a set of pretty striking towers. They remind you of the tower that you saw, the Wizard's Tower, that was the Ward Tower. It's a little bit like that design, but it's a ways away from the city. But I actually have a picture of kind of what the interior of this hall kind of looks like. So let me grab that. Copy, and I'm going to come back to here.
Oh, nice.
You guess there might have been some locks and other things around here. Those seem to have been some of them broken, and there's definitely the dock facilities and things down here are more recently built. There are some ships there, small ships and boats, and you can see that there are bridges to other sort of rocky sections. What's kind of not shown in the illustration, but you will definitely see, is that there are a lot of other structures, old parts of the city that are clearly not particularly well cared for. Again, the population here took the same hit since it is in the human imperial areas, and it's not particularly well kept up. When you guys steer into the docks, there are probably a few people there, port masters and so on, and one of them will come hopping down. Kind of looks at you oddly, since you guys do have a pretty small ship and you are a ways away from other things. But he'll come over and he will give you a hail, and kind of takes a look, sees the orc and the tiefling and the elf and the slawing skin cleric. And so he will arch an eyebrow and he'll say, "Greetings, travelers. Welcome to Merthrope."
Thank you.
Uh,
We need.
are you
to make-
outliers from another boat outside, or is this your vessel?
This is our vessel. We've traveled a long way, and we were hoping to make port here for some business.
Well, tie your boat up here, and hope you on board. Do you have anything that needs to be unloaded? I've got stevedores up on the docks. Is there anything you need on that end of things?
Do we have?
No, you don't have stuff.
Anything?
Well, the biggest thing you have is the lantern, probably.
No. We travel lightly. We don't have anything to unload, but thank you for the offer, sir.
He looks maybe a little disappointed, but he'll help you guys up and out, and he'll walk you up onto the docks and say, "I'll walk you up to the main town," and he clearly is maybe walking you up there to be gracious, but also maybe to get a tip here from you guys. And he will take you up towards the town. And he'll say, is there any way I can direct you, gentlemen? Your business? Here to meet someone?
Where's the Mage Polak's estate tower?
And he will pull a face, really like a sour taste in his mouth, and he'll just kind of gesture up towards those towers, and he will actually walk away from you guys.
Really? Now, has
A
Palak
blessing upon you.
kept the wards around here?
Yeah, the wards are up.
Okay. All right. Well, at least he hasn't fallen down on that job, because then I'd have to punch him when I met him.
Matt, you had a question?
No, I was just throwing color in there. Putting blessings on the guy.
The flies will alight on his shoulders.
Do a little happy dance.
So sweet. Ooh.
It is kind of a weird walk around. That the parts of the town are sort of stretched out along a set of built up docks and things, and they kind of wrap around to other areas. And it looks like it's a pretty mixed population. Half orcs, a few orcs, elves, humans, some of the other tribes. You'll see some of the other more unusual races around. The Sharvan, which are like more intelligent sort of ape folk that are fairly renowned sailors. Some of the lizard folk and that kind of thing. So it's a pretty diverse cross section. What is your guys' aim here?
Well, let's see here. We got some weird stuff while we were at that town, but that's not kind of the things that you sell here. So it's pretty much just straight to Palak, isn't it?
That's what I think our mission is.
My mission is not to get killed.
All right. Well, first and foremost, that seems like a good one.
And so do you guys want to just kind of try and find your way up towards the towers, or do you want to find an inn, or what do you want to do?
I wouldn't mind getting a lay of the land a little bit first.
Okay.
Find out. Let's get an inn and relax a little bit, and let's do some rumor checking and see what we can find out about Palak. I'm a little disconcerted that the only person that we've spoken to didn't seem to have much of an opinion of him.
Are there a lot of people here? Do they look like
Does
does this
any-
look like a hive of scum and villainy, or does it look like a shiny new city of glistening happiness and rainbows? But
It is definitely leaning towards the hive of scum and villainy side, but a lot of older people here. You'll definitely see that the population skews old, and it does seem like a lot of the town has been consolidated into areas, and they let certain parts go, and have tightened things that way. But it is a kind of interesting cross section. There are markets here. You can see that, and there clearly is some amount of trade that goes on. Actually, kind of a surprisingly vibrant market here as you guys move through. It actually seems like maybe even larger than would support the kind of town that you're seeing here.
Really? So, like, the town isn't reaping as much in the way of benefits from the market as it might otherwise, as we would expect?
Possibly, or that there are more markets and merchants here than you would expect the town could support.
Huh, okay. And we don't see, like, a bunch of ships where they're, like, clearly staying on the ship and coming in or something, right?
That is correct.
Okay, that's interesting.
So, you guys will...
This is the island wizard that we would expect the unusual.
Well, only so unusual. Usually they don't dabble in the mundane like that.
As you guys kind of move around this and get to a position where you can see off in the distance, I'll kind of put an arrow on the thing, sort of that way. There's a set of islands and walkways that go up in the Palak's towers up there, and you can see that there are other towers, kind of smaller ones, along the way going up to that, and they definitely look like they're in more disrepair, and it definitely looks like you can't actually get up to go to the tower, that there is actually a large gate and towered thing that kind of covers the main walk to move up the cliffside up to the main tower. So I will assume that you guys will find yourselves a decent inn. Do you want high, low, or middle class for your inn?
Low class is great. I think that's the best way to go.
I prefer to rest among the wretched.
Awesome.
I like that.
Huh.
I was sort of thinking medium myself.
Yeah, Rook, how
Yeah,
about...
did I mention my mission was not to get killed?
So middle class it is.
We got some decent treasure from those hydras.
Yeah.
So you guys will find yourselves in an inn called the Reaper's Pride. You can see it's got a little picture of Death harvesting wheat on it. The innkeeper...
I mentioned my mission was not to get killed.
Absolutely. You guys will head inside and get settled. There are clearly a few other people there, some old salty dogs, and that kind of thing. The innkeep doesn't seem to pay you too much mind. Clearly, you're a weird-looking crew, but he doesn't pay too much attention to it. But he will say, "Are you here for work, or are you staying for your business?"
Oh, we have some business here. We might be looking for work after our business. Why? What's the news here in town? We've come from the fairly far north.
Oh, well, no. So that we get laborers in that do some inland work. I didn't know if you were part of those groups.
What kind of inland work? Mining?
I think they're doing lumbering, mining, that kind of thing. The Weakers, that's what we call them.
The Weakers?
Yeah, they usually go out for a week and then come back.
Who's hiring?
I don't know. You come through. The town's done fairly well from it, as you've seen from the market.
Absolutely, they were surprisingly large.
And he will settle you guys in. He'll give you a couple of rooms. Set up the.
I'd like to ask for a menu.
We have meat and bread.
My spy training says, isn't that a little unusual? Some mysterious unknown party is is bringing in people to work on the island, and this local resident doesn't know who it is or what exactly they're...
That is a little unusual, yes. But you have the sense that these people have been through a lot, that this town has been rebuilt, and that they seem to be doing better than a lot of places.
So essentially not looking a gift horse in the mouth?
Exactly.
All right.
They'll bring you great big bowls of cabbage and oxtail soup for you to eat and settle you guys in.
I want to complain that the oxtail is a little chewy.
Says that's the best way to have it.
It lasts longer.
Exactly.
More filling.
It was
stop
great.
eating the carrots.
Oh, yeah.
No, sorry, Pete Holmes, not an explosive. Pete Holmes.
You could have them fix that hydrosphincter that you brought.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea.
No!
It's magic. It needs to be doing, and we'll give it to Palak.
Yeah.
You'll like this.
So why don't I do it once around with what you guys are doing, checking out, that kind of thing. Does that seem reasonable?
Yes.
Okay. Scott, since you're the one who suggested this, shall we begin with you?
Yeah, I'm going to scout out the taverns and the inns and try to pick up rumors on what's going on in town with all these people coming in to do their work, and maybe try
Let
to
me
pick up
ask you this, Scott, before you go to do that. Are you going to talk to your contact that you were given the name of and sent to?
Yes, I will go find my contact.
Do you want to do that first? Or do you want to search for
Yep.
rumors first?
No, I'll go see him. Go see him first.
I can't remember. What did I give you a name on that?
You did. Check my notes. Check my. Ridar Shavin, was that him? Ridar Sharvin, I have written down.
All right. So why don't you make a streetwise roll for me? Let's do this as wisdom or charisma.
Chris. So, skill. Slop.
Oh, very nice. You will be able to
Wow.
check and track that down very quickly, and probably within maybe about an hour of you guys arriving and you're out on the street looking around, you will be approached. You will see this elven woman approach you, Scott. I've got a picture of her.
Oh, excellent. Yes, I seem to recall it was a woman.
And she will say, "You are Rook?
Yes.
I am Ridar." And she will give you the one of the signs of the Prince of Shadows. And she will say, "You're going soon to see Palak?"
Yes, that is the plan. We just arrived here in town, and I wanted to get a little bit of the lay of the land. When I mentioned Palak's name to a townsfolk, it did not seem that the townsfolk was particularly enamored of him.
No. The Palak and the townsfolk, there's no love lost between them. I would be cautious in using his name to ask around or speak about here. What is your timetable for this? Soon? Within this day?
Well, what time of day was it that we arrived?
Oh, let's see. Let's roll a d20. So probably arrived about noon.
If we can get in to see him later this afternoon, we will. Otherwise, we'll make an appointment for the morning.
Oh, okay.
How busy is his schedule? Does he get very many visitors? I saw a rather large, imposing gate.
No, rare. Most people have not seen Palak in some time. Usually he sends down one of his servitors to deal with anything in the city. I've only seen a couple of people go and give notes to the servitors, and they've all been turned away.
What do you mean, servitors? Like
You'll see.
golems,
He has servants that come down. They're not golems. They're armored things, but they're clearly not people. I don't know exactly what they are. Invisible servants, elementals, I'm not sure. And you know what you need to do?
Yes. I believe I need to get access to his library. Should I deliver the information to you then when I get it?
Yes, that'd be fine.
Sorry.
Why are you laughing?
She will say, well, if there's anything that you require, I must go and make my preparations. So,
Oh,
if there's anything...
your preparations
Pardon?
for... Your preparations for what?
My work. You're not the only cog in this wheel. The Prince of Shadows has many irons in the fire.
Oh, I don't suppose you'd care to tell me a little about this work?
Well, you are correct.
So mean.
Well then,
How about what can you tell me about the town? How long have you been here?
I have been here for some time. Perhaps
What's the deal
a
with
couple
these
of months. Pardon?
What's the deal with these Weakers?
I don't know. There's some sort of industry going on. I don't know. One suspicion I have is that there might be old mines that on the inland that someone's decided to take advantage of now that the authority has collapsed around here. But I'm not from this area. This is old human lands. But they've certainly got a diverse crew. And my impression is, even when I arrived here, that had been going on for some time.
But Palak doesn't seem to have anything to do with it?
I don't think Palak even realizes it.
Well, all right, I'll leave you to your preparations, and hopefully I'll meet you again soon.
I'm sure you will. And she will vanish off into the crowd. Who's
That's
next?
going to come back and haunt me.
I'll go
Anybody ready?
next. Sure, I'll go next.
Okay. What do you want to do, milady?
You know, here's the thing. I've been traveling around, but these human towns used to be under the auspices of the Empress.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go and seek out what authority there is and who they're kind of reporting up to.
Okay.
I'll be
So-
back.
Sure. Why don't you make a charisma or wisdom plus sort of human society roll?
Okay. Let's see. I'm sure this is going to go super well.
I know,
Very.
I know it will. All your rolls in Roll20 have been.
Death and
magnificent.
Alley, here she
Yeah,
comes.
here I come. All right. So let's go do this roll. My awesome charisma bonus plus level is stellar. And let's see here. And then my human society.
Yeah, what do you think is appropriate for your background?
How about been traveling? I've been traveling.
Sure.
I have centuries long student, but I think that actually is less good than.
Let's do your
So,
traveling.
okay. All right. Okay, it wasn't the worst roll I've ever done, but it's still crap.
So your sense of the authority here is mostly kind of confined to some craft guilds, and there is the equivalent of a mayor here, essentially an agreed upon person who oversees stuff. He's essentially mayor and judge and that kind of stuff. So that's the sort of major local authority, and that there's minor taxes paid, but you have the sense that there's a good deal of graft and black market economy that's going on
Okay.
to kind of support stuff.
So this place is pretty much completely untethered. It's not like they're flying any things of a region or a kingdom.
No,
so to
and
speak,
you
right?
knew this as a place that supported a great magical college before the collapse, and that's clearly
boy.
all gone. Nobody mentions wizards around here. Nobody talks about that kind of stuff. All of those towers up there would have been, colleges for that kind of thing. The one thing you will hear as you're kind of talking around the street and asking about that, and your tendency is to mention the name of the empress, and use those oaths and things like that, and at some point, someone will say, "Oh, you're probably with the recruiter."
And I'll raise an eyebrow and I'll say the recruiter.
Yes, aren't you with the person who is recruiting people to serve the new empress?
No, I'm not, but I'm very interested in meeting the recruiter.
Oh, they'll point you that direction to a house that's a little bit higher up that looks in better shape, and we'll direct you there to go and talk to that person. They'll give you the name. The name is Culling Marinock.
Culling
Marinock.
Marinock. Okay,
It's just what I want, a recruiter named Culling.
exactly. I think nothing of it.
Okay.
I will go to see this Culling Marinock to hear about the new empress
Okay.
that he claims to represent.
All right, you will head on up there. It does look like there are some warriors, some guardsmen there and things, and they'll kind of look at you strangely, and someone will kind of step up and will say, "Lady, what be your business?"
I'm here to see Culling Marinock.
Hold but a minute. I will see if Culling will see you.
Excellent.
And he goes inside. These other people are kind of standing around. They definitely trained warriors. They're not just mooks. They're skilled sellswords.
Okay.
And you will wait a few minutes, and they kind of give you the once over. And after a bit, this guy comes out and says, "Culling will see you. Come in."
Thank you. And I will go in to see him.
Go inside. Windows are open to kind of bring in a little bit of the breeze here. Very light wood, nicely set up. It's kind of got like a little bit of a tropical feel here. And you will see this gentleman sitting at a table. There are various papers, and he has a carafe of wine there. And you will notice that he has an eye patch on, and he's definitely has some magic to him.
Okay.
His salt and pepper hair, kind of a tight cut beard, and he will say, "I didn't get your name."
My name is Cochinelle.
Cochinelle.
Cochinelle. Of the Preservationists.
The Preservationists. That's a magical order, isn't it?
That's correct. We serve the Empress.
Oh, I see.
So tell me about this new Empress.
Well, milady, I suspect you and I are going to be at something of odds on these things.
Is that so?
Well, my impression from your speech, your vocal tone, your turn of phrase is that you serve the Empress who is now gone.
And she sort of stops and says, "No, I serve the Empress."
Well, we have a candidate who has arisen and has done several of the signs and the stages that we feel will bring her closer to the crown.
And Isiko Chanel sighs. She says, "So little E Empress so far. What trials has she passed?"
Why don't you
This
make
this stuff she knows.
Why don't you make an intelligence
Okay.
roll for me?
Okay, I will. Just straight intelligence?
Plus your training,
Okay.
and always at your level.
So that's... Yeah, I credited.
Oh yeah, this guy has a few words that he's been given, a few things he knows, but you get the sense that he hasn't been pressed in specific on any of this. And you're kind of speaking around, and you will pick up two key pieces of information. One of
Okay.
them being that he clearly is tied to the lineage to one of the descendants of one of the pretenders that got struck down in the early days. That is
Okay.
what he's tied to. But the other thing is that he mentions a couple of things that a couple of people in particular that you know, just sort
All
of in
right.
passing, because you know, just after you were woken, they were executed because they were agents of the Siren.
Okay.
And you don't get you keep it together, so you get the sense that he doesn't read it that you are penetrating his line of patter. Does that seem
Right.
reasonable?
Right, and what it is she comes across as agreeable, curious to know who might be one of the candidates. Certainly she would love to see a candidate put forward. Maybe even a tad gullible in that. Because she is, and in fact, she'll make a certain thing to come off as bookish, if that makes any
he
sense.
will say, well, in a few days we will have one of our gathering ceremonies. Perhaps you might attend at that point. An initiation, as it were.
Ah,
So did you have the applesauce?
that sounds interesting. I will certainly plan for that if my travels permit.
Well then,
Thank you very much, Mr. Marinock.
and you, Miss Cochinelle.
She'll stand up and she'll give him, what do you say? She'll give him a full salute
All right.
of the Empress, okay? And then she will leave.
Okay. Who's next? Carl, Matt, Ben?
I'm thinking.
Okay.
Matt, do you know what you want to do?
I'm ready. I'm ready if you guys aren't.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so the first thing, let me get out of the room with the fan. First things first.
Okay.
So, torment you guys. All right. So the first thing I want to do is go back to the microscope session. A bit we haven't touched.
Ooh.
I figure that since we're at 5th level, we're pretty powerful, right? We're not jabronis anymore.
Right.
So I figure we're at a level now where if we think about the World Wide Web section of the microscope session,
Yep.
we're able to access the Tristero system.
Right. Though those are done through sort of personal contacts and things like that, and you have some cash to be able to access to that.
So I think what I would want to do is pen a note about the chalice that we found, right? Put it on a piece of paper, write it up. and then crumple it so that it becomes garbage, scratch one of the sores on my head, and put the horn symbol of the Tristero system on the crumpled up note.
All right.
And then, kind of walk to, I don't know if there's like a river outlet or a sewer pipe, and kind of drop it in. To my way of sending it to the Tristero system and kind of await a response.
And you will do that, and even as you kind of drop that in the water to send that out, you will notice that where you're standing, you will see this like crumpled up scroll bobbing against your boot.
All right, I will pick up the scroll
and kind of open it up, and it's dry when you unravel it, and you can see that it is a letter written to you, dated maybe a week ago, and it's from one of your colleagues. Let's give him a name, and let's say Ulbershib. A fellow member of your order, and he gives some news, some of the things that you had been told before about the Grandmaster vanishing. But the other thing that he will say is, you should be aware that the Surgeon Penitent is gathering an army. And there's kind of a line break after he says, I do not know what that means for these days, but you should be aware that he has begun to call a number who follow him to come and gather others. Strange things are on the tides. And he will essentially sign a name with a sigil that's essentially hoped that this missive will reach you.
All right, well, taking that and, watching my other message kind of roll out, I will head back into the town, and I have the chalice, I assume, right?
Yes.
We didn't talk about that, but I assume I would not have given that up.
Correct.
I will kind of, almost I guess like a street preacher, walk through the town holding the chalice up, performing a prayer ceremony in reverence to all the gods. I imagine like the surgeon, it's an ecumenical thing, right? He's not a god himself, he's an icon. And it's expressed through reverence to all the gods, the religiosity associated with him. So I will walk through the town performing one of those rituals with the chalice.
And you will note that as you do that there are still some shrines. The church places of the gods have been shuttered, but there are some shrines. The one thing you will note is there is a temple up a ways, on the sort of upper cliffs from the town, that does look like it is still functional and in operations, somewhat to your surprise.
Well, let's go investigate that further.
Okay. And you will make your way up. Older, sort of black basalt temple. You think it might have been to a sea god before, but you can see that all of the sort of etchings and marks of that god have been removed, have been scoured away, and there's sort of an echo as you kind of step into the place. It's been kept up, but it is kind of echoing and empty, and you will probably get a shiver, a sensation that you don't normally get as you kind of step in here. Not a good feeling. You look
All right,
down, neat and tidy. The floor is clear. The worship seats are in order. No signs of the actual god, but you will see that there is on the sort of the main altar. You'll see there is a figure in rags and knots and disheveled, and Torn seems to be doing some sort of ceremony up at the altar.
Well, I will not interrupt. I'll hang back and observe, take a seat, and kind of, observe reverently.
And he will kind of finish up, and you'll see him turn around and look at you. He has skin much like yours, leprous and running. His hands, in fact, he has on sort of torn in places on his clothing. Looks like marks of the Surgeon Penitent that have been torn and shredded and are kind of hanging there. But the thing that will strike you is that he has no eyes. Essentially, there's just two great coal black pits where his eyes should be. And he will look at you. Yeah.
The coal black pits. My brother, are you another one who has taken on the burden of the sins of the world?
Oh, yes, I am. He will kind of shuffle closer over to you. Yes, I have. Who are you?
I am Tommaso Echo of the Order de Bisteri.
You serve the surgeon.
You do not?
I did. I used to. I did, but no longer.
How could you abandon the devotion?
Because I had a revelation. He shuffles closer. I saw things. There are new things in this world. I bathed in the blood, and now I am this, and I can hear them. I can hear them, Tommaso. The new gods in the vaults of heaven. They're starting to speak through me.
That is what you believe, huh?
That is what I know.
There may be new gods, but some things are eternal, and the order, the old order of the Empress...
No.
is not...
That is what they taught me. That nothing is eternal. That everything can be destroyed. Everything will be destroyed.
No. Whatever can be broken can be mended.
You are wrong, and the lessons they will teach you will be long and agonizing.
My hand rests on the pommel of my sword.
Do you wish to hear their voices, Tommaso?
I do not wish to participate in your heresy.
Then you should leave before I call their echoes down into here.
Oh, I will leave as soon as I mend you, and the blade comes out and boom, right in the gut.
Okay.
Leroy Jenkins!
Matt, why don't you make a let's see, what is this going to be? Let's have you just do a straight combat check for me.
What's that?
Just a simple attack roll here for me.
All right.
Assault battery, great.
It's a good shot, and blade will slide out, and you will run it through him. And as you do, his mouth has kind of started to open as if he's going to sing something, and kind of snaps shut, bites his own tongue, tip of it kind of falls off, and there'll be blackness that kind of starts to emanate from his eyes, but then fades, and he will collapse to the floor of the church.
Today is a good.
And he goes still, very still, and it's you can watch the decay just rack the body as it goes to pus and dust.
Ooh!
Oh, good. No body. No proof of murder. Excellent.
And it will not feel quite as cold and chilling to you in here now.
I see my actions were divinely inspired.
That's how I feel after I murder someone.
Good time.
I assume you will perform rites and then depart.
Oh yes, disgusting rights. I will piss the symbol of the surgeon onto his corpse as I mutter a solemn ritual.
The body and the
Wow.
fluid. It is all part of the surgeon's penitent. All right, Carl or Ben?
Ben, you got something?
Well, I think I'm gonna explore the town a little bit and just see what there is.
Sure. Why don't you make a wisdom roll for me?
All right. Pull my character here. My wisdom. Okay. I have had wiser days, I must say.
So the city feels pretty modest to you. Not a lot of things here. You do see more mercenaries and older sellswords than maybe you would have expected around and about. And as you kind of gauge sort of what the town's connection is to the tower and to Palak, you can definitely see that the townspeople definitely avoid Palak and the tower. Any kind of mention of him is met with real disdain and disregard.
Okay, and do we need any supplies? I gather we probably do. I don't know.
Yeah, you actually probably do, because you guys essentially had the supplies to make it here.
All right,
do you
so
wanna-
I'll go gather some supplies for
Okay.
for the group.
Make well. Here's what I'll tell you: is that it's actually pretty easy to supply. That they do have a good set of the kind of sea rations that travel well. You'll be easily able to get that, and the prices are actually pretty decent for as isolated as this town is. You would have expected the cost to be higher, but they're not. And the merchants trade with you pretty fairly.
All right, and I guess I'm just gonna make up like something from my home, or like a dragon fruit, let's say. And I'm looking for some special thing I haven't had in a long time.
And actually, when you go to the markets, there are a lot of people that have spices there, and you will see that they have a lot of exotic fruits and exotic things brought, and that there are a lot of people there from far-flung areas that are here either to work or to settle. So they have a lot of these things that cater to your tastes, that are more exotic than you would have expected.
Excellent.
And it's probably
Okay.
the first time you've had a good, solid, tart dragon fruit in months.
Fantastic.
Carl?
I wasn't here when Kushnell was on. Did she talk about the find why people didn't like Palak?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna go around, hang around, everything, the docks and stuff like that. Kind of listen to talk and talk to people, and then kind of find out. So what's with the tower up there? Why is nobody going up there?
Sure. Carl, why don't you make a wisdom or charisma roll plus pirate?
Oh, Dope, yeah. And by the way, this is the freshest Hydra sphincter. I'm telling you, look, if they just talk
And
to me a
that's
little bit,
about
I
that
give you some.
the
I mean, it's
power.
really,
Power in
really
the
good
raw.
stuff. Oh,
Fruity
okay.
power.
So that's for the first part. And why don't you make another roll for me on the same thing?
So we can
Carl
see
never
how
came back.
badly you get mugged.
Jack and Ellie.
Oh shit! Did I leave my axe somewhere?
Oh, look, an orc to beat up.
Yeah. Oh, you don't like Hydra sphincter?
So you're not getting very much of any information about Palak. Not very much.
He's my buddy. I like him.
But you're kind of following in old rows and stuff, and you're in a bar. You've been walking around. This place feels very comfortable to you. And there is a bit there when you're in one of these bars. You've been going around talking to places. The place feels very comfortable, and there's a moment when you're kind of sitting there and you're talking with a group of people, and it kind of clicks for you.
They don't like Hydra sphincter.
No, it's more that you're like, wow, I've seen all those old people, here, all those retirees and things like that, and older warriors and things like that, and all sorts of stuff. And you know what? I've seen a lot of markers that remind me of the Crow Sworn Pirate. And you're kind of looking around and you're like, oh shit, this town is filled with pirates.
Bum bum bum.
That are pretending that they're not. They're pretending not to be pirates.
Yeah.
Okay.
The markers, the signs, the tattoos, all that kind of stuff. There are, there's a large portion of the population that are clearly agents of the Crow Sworn Pirate here.
You mean like 10% or like 50?
I mean like 30 to 40%.
Okay. And the population of this place is what?
Maybe
500?
Maybe about 1,000.
Okay, 1,000. Okay. And are the people who are avoiding? Are the pirates avoiding the tower, or are they?
The Palak thing seems to be
and...
the Palak thing seems to be a general thing amongst all the townspeople.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, the pirate people are just more like, and don't say anything about Palak. Clearly, don't have an opinion one way or the other.
No, okay.
But that's why they have all these markets, all these exotic things, and certainly you have the sense that that's also tied with the people who are going out to the other parts of the island.
Okay, I will ask somebody who I don't think is maybe a shopkeeper or something like that, and I'll look at what they're selling. It's like, oh man, I haven't had some kind of pirate good or fare that they've got there that would be clearly done. And I'm like, man, how long you guys had this? This is great stuff, man.
The market's been carrying more and more exotic goods as the population has shifted over the last number of years, sir.
Number of what?
The elf says, I couldn't say a number on it.
A while? Oh, okay, man. It's a great place. I haven't been here before. This is good stuff, man.
Are you coming to stay then?
Oh, no. We come in, move, and go out, and go around, and, go around all over the place. Oh. We were at Grandfather Turtle's, man. It was pretty cool. Big does not describe it. Oh, man.
I've seen one of the great sea turtles, and I've heard that he's larger by at least a threefold than that.
Oh, wow. You can't even talk about how big he is.
Oh, you're some sort of vow?
Vow? You mean like I vowed to the Grandfather Turtle?
No, I mean that you vowed not to speak of how large he is. You said
no. He's just enormous. When I say how big he is, it's bigger than that.
Oh, I see. Will there be anything else then, my orcish friend? Says this elf.
No, I'll let that go. I won't push
Okay.
that too far.
But we still don't know why they all hate Palak, right?
Right.
Yeah, well, no, I know, man. It's he's got a hydrosphincter up there, and it's really pissing him off.
So you guys
Oh.
will
that's it.
gather back together with your information in hand, and
Blah.
Lots of Crow-sworn pirates, huh?
And Agents of the Siren recruiting.
Well, Palak hates the siren.
yes.
Yeah. So, anyway, there's going to be some sort of get-together in a few days that I was invited to, I assume, so they can thump me over the head. So, if we're still here, I would very much like to go and slaughter them.
Okay, I'm clear on that day.
Okay.
Okay.
And I assume Matt's all up for a little
Red
murder.
Red seems to be always
There's
up for killing.
darkness on this island, and if slaughter is due, let us deliver it.
I'm telling you, this place is pretty horrible.
Well, the pirates guys, they're okay. They're good. They're there.
Okay, relative to what?
The
The siren, the
it's a
Leviathan.
siren.
The siren's crazy, man. That's crazy stuff there. The Crow-sworn pirate, he's just, hey, just out there. Sometimes, there's some nice guys out there, some nice fat merchant ships, and these merchants, they hoard their money. They stole their money in the first place. And so the Crow-sworn port redistributes it a little bit. He's an okay guy. He's not saying, oh, hey, let's wreck everything and burn the whole world down.
Black Dog, are you an agent of the Crow-sworn?
Yeah, me and the pirate, sometimes we're good, sometimes we're bad. It's he got too close to our ships and he came over. Sometimes we trade with him, but sometimes, he wants to take something. And, you take the axe and you put it in a couple of their guys' heads. And then they realize that they don't take it from the orcs.
So that would be conflicted.
Ah, she sort of looks confused. She's like, "Oh, all right. So
Well, you don't like you and me here. I don't want to put an axe through your head. I ever don't. You help me out. I help you out. We're good and everything like that. Boy, I don't want to put an axe through your head. Now, Kathak!
You
I'm just
want to
saying.
put an axe through his head?
No, I didn't say that. I said just, he shoots me in the back with an arrow, and, sometimes I get confused too. It's just hard for me to figure out sometimes.
You are hard to figure out. I can understand.
I like you, Koshinel. You're good.
Yeah. Well, awesome.
I'd be reassured if I were you.
Yeah, I know. She very careful. It's like she picks in the room where to stand the furthest away from both Tommaso and Black Dog now. Practically sitting in Rook's lap.
So you guys have been told that people do make contact with Palak by going up to that gate.
Yeah, let's go up there.
Okay.
We'll go knock.
Okay.
Rumor has it he has some sort of automaton servitors.
Awesome.
We just hope the blasphemy has not infected him as well.
He seems like he's pretty far away, so he may be, but he just may be bonkers, since he seems pretty isolated. It's not always a good thing for a wizard.
So you guys will head up to this great gate. It would have been brilliant and white marble at some point in the past, but that's certainly overgrown. There's a great gate there, and there is what appears to be an old style petitioner's box to put notes and missives into and requests, classic for magical schools and things.
Okay, and can we see any signature here? The Magic College, was this a school for wizards or a school for sorcerers?
It was a school for sorcerers.
Oh.
Oh wait, hang on. Let me check. Let me make sure on that. Hang on.
So there was like little dragons twining all over, and
Hang on a second. Yeah, actually, I'm sorry. Wizards. Naisune,
wizards, awesome.
Naisune was the sorceress.
Okay, excellent. Then I will pen a note with the Empress's seal. Not that she's a representative of it, but that's her alliance. She's very clear about that in that sense. But she signs herself as Cochineal Preservationist and asks to meet with him concerning a thing found in what was the town that we were in?
Which one? The
horrible ghoul town.
You never got the name, I think, of it.
Even when we looked at the map.
The name of the castle was Cane Vow.
Okay, we'll say, yeah, something found in Cane Vow.
Yep.
And they said, and some matter of, and then what was the sort of place that they found the God Heart in? That it was like some kind of maze
that was
or
the
something?
Unconquered Port.
No, they went somewhere, like the adventurers before had gone into some place.
Oh, the Torrent
Some
Stall.
moving dungeon. And say, as well as some matter concerning the Torrent Stall.
Okay.
Does that seem reasonable, gentlemen?
I was gonna say we could drop Naisune's name too. I believe he knows of her.
Okay, Naisune recommended that we speak to you. And we'll put the note in.
Okay. And we'll put that in the box, and it'll go in. It's actually a little stuck. You have to pull on it. And that kind of a creak of this metal drawer, you'll put the letter in and then push that shut.
Well, I'll mend it, because that's just
Okay.
be rude not to do that.
You do your oil spell, your WD-40
Yeah,
spell.
exactly. WD-40 spell. It's like little sprites come out and carefully shine it all up with peanut oil.
And you guys will start to head back. And you guys are maybe about 100 feet away from the gate when you'll hear the creak of metal.
Ooh, from where?
From the gate itself.
Oh. Turn back and look.
You guys will stop, and you will see the gate open a ways, and you will see a figure come out and walk towards you. Sorry, that's my phone. Hang on one second.
Sure.
I'm going to mute. I like having caller ID now. It's good.
Yeah.
You will see a figure, and it walks over towards where you guys are at.
Is it a servitor, or like one of those servant spells?
Well, I actually have a picture.
Okay.
And if I can get it right, I'll paste it here. Okay. There's a clanking, and you will see this armored figure come walking out towards where you guys are at. And it walks over, and it will kind of stop a little ways away from you. And you can see that behind, in that helmet, there's clearly like a porcelain mask of a face.
You mean there's not a skull? It's actually a porcelain mask of a face?
It looks like a porcelain mask of a face.
Porcelain mask of a face.
Okay.
And I'm getting some echo. It will kind of look, and it will pause and kind of draws some air into itself, and it will say, and it says in this kind of echoing voice, it will say, "What are your names?"
I am Cochineal of the Preservationists, and she'll gesture for each of you to introduce yourself.
I'm Dog.
I am Rook.
I'm Tommaso Echo of the House Ugolino, Ordo del Bestere.
And he'll look to you, Ben.
I am Shitak.
You have requested. What is it that you request?
We wish to speak to Palak concerning some matters of high magic that only he has sufficient knowledge.
He's the next phrase that he says comes out more smoothly, like it's clearly a recording, an oft-repeated phrase. Little kind Master Kerundan Palak is involved in delicate matters of magic at this point, and his schedule is difficult. And then there's a pause, and he will say, "But if you will follow me to the tower, I will see if his schedule can be interrupted."
Is that a different voice?
Yeah, from the recording a little bit, yes.
We said that would be good.
And
Excellent.
it will turn and begin walking back through the gate. It makes almost no noise when it walks. Its footsteps fall very lightly as it moves along.
Is it a spell I recognize at all?
It's clearly some kind of invisible or elemental servant put inside a frame.
Okay, so it's not that the armor and such has been enchanted, but that there's something that's dressed.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this something that could fight us, or could be? Is it? I mean, is it real armor? Is it ceremonial
Oh
armor?
no,
Is
it's
it
real armor.
sword?
Yeah.
Okay. While we're walking behind it, I'm sizing up all of any weak point in the armor, any place I can hit, any place that I can.
There are some gaps. What's surprising to you, Black Dog, is it moves very smoothly, and it's clear that the armor is of no real consequence in terms of weight and mobility to it, which makes it a little more dangerous of a combatant. But you'll definitely get a sense of it. And you five will walk up behind it. He moves you through the gatehouse, and he will go over to a panel and shut the gate behind you. And he will start walking, and it's an uphill path past several towers. And as you guys are walking, the servitor will say, "Do any of you have special needs?"
This could last a long time. No, I'm right now.
What does he mean? What do you mean?
Do you have requirements in terms of food, requirements in terms of the kind of lodging, requirements in terms of clothing, requirements in terms of medicine, requirements in terms of health care, requirements in terms of equipment, requirements in terms of stabling? And he will go on like that for a while until you interrupt him.
Well, we've already eaten, but I would love to see Master Polak's library.
That is a matter for discussion with Master Palak. So I take it you have no other special requirements, that standard lodging will be accessible to you and useful? None of you are vegetarians or have any other allergies that I should be made aware of?
Yeah, I'm good.
Do any of you have preferences that I should be aware of while you are guests of Master Palak?
Yeah, how long do you think it's going to be before we get to talk to him?
I couldn't make that assessment, dog.
Has there been other guests, and how long? You got an idea how long they've had to wait?
That would be a privileged matter. I couldn't speak to that. So no preferences. I shall
I
have
would
a
prefer a room of my own.
separate room. The four of you would prefer to lodge together?
Oh, I'm good with pretty much anything. I don't think the other guys want to lodge with me too much, though.
So you would like a private room?
All around. How about that?
All right. I will have a
All the
standard meal prepared. Do you have adequate clothing, or will you require changes of clothing?
I'm good.
I require nothing.
All right. And he kind of does this, kind of quizzes you on what you need, on what kind of preparation should be made, and we'll ask you that stuff, and we'll eventually get you up to a large building that's like many towers kind of connected together, and sections of walls between them. Would have been a massive school of magic in the past, of wizardry, and he will take you up to these front doors and open them, and you'll come into this grand entry hall. It would have been the sort of the entry hall where all the students would have come into, great arches and things like that, and there are chairs stacked over onto the side, and desks thrown in various places, and tables stacked together, and the main like walkway down the middle is completely clear and kept absolutely clean. And you will see several figures come floating towards you guys.
That's never good.
Most of them look like essentially more of these servants, but they're actually more in kind of robes and cloth that are just kind of put over them, almost like a ghost sheet or something like that. And there are a couple of them that look like this, that are more elegantly attired.
Okay, at this point, what are those? That weird little mask.
That's definitely a binding fixture for the invisible servants.
Okay.
They're a particular kind of air elemental. And they will kind of gather around you guys and move you along and you'll pass through many rooms like this that kind of would have been very nice in the past, but have certainly been let go. And eventually they'll bring you into a wing, and there's actually kind of dust in the air, like they've been running through here and just have dusted and cleaned and set this up. And the figure in armor will turn and will say, there are rooms off from this one that are available for your lodging. There is a room where a bath can be drawn with fresh water, soaps, oils, and such have been provided. We've also provided a number of robes and other cloth. If you have anything that needs to be repaired, we can see to that. Anything that needs maintenance, we can see to that. If you will stow whatever belongings you wish to in those rooms and return out, we will have a meal brought for you.
Thank you.
I assume.
Sure. She'll go and stow her 3 things that are stowable.
Clearly, in the past, these would have been guest rooms for honored guests of the school. And again, there's still kind of dust in the air. Clearly, more of these servitors have come through and very quickly cleaned these up over the last, half hour and gotten things straightened up for you guys. Very nice, comfortable goose down beds and pillows and heavy blankets, and there are magical fireplaces in there. Everything is sort of superb quality, but not particularly well maintained. That clearly these rooms are not often used. And by the time you guys come back out, that table out in that main room is set with food. Fresh bread, rice, meats, vegetables, all of that kind of thing are set out there for you. And the servitor will kind of stand to the side and will say, "Is that to your satisfaction?"
It is most generous. Thank you.
Are there any other needs that we can attend to for you?
Not at the moment. Thank you for your hospitality.
Master Kerundan Palak has been made aware of your petition. Are there any other details that I should have provided to him?
She sort of stops and kind of looks at them and says, Grandfather Turtle sent us to speak with him.
All right. Carl, you also have that letter, I should mention.
Oh, is the letter from Lady Nasuni? Is that what that is?
No, the letter from his staff at the tower.
Oh, God.
Remember they gave you that letter recommending and just detailing the service that you...
Killed the
At
dragon?
the first. Okay,
Yeah.
I was thinking of the Knights Templar or whatever it was. But this, the one with the dragon. Okay, yeah. Right. Okay, I definitely would have given that to him.
He'll take that and he will look over it. And he will say, if you will sit and wait, I will endeavor to have Master Palak here within the next few hours.
Great.
Thank you.
I would ask that you remain in these chambers and rooms until then, until Master Palak gives you greater leave.
Okay.
However, you should be noted that you are not prisoners, and if you wish to depart the tower at any time, you have merely to say, and I will have you escorted out.
Thank you.
And Kazma says, is there nothing else that we can do for you? No other tasks that we can... And at this point, actually, he's kind of repeated this every time. It kind of almost like...
Desperately would like something
to do.
Let's see here. Do we have things that would be well suited to their skills? In the sense of, like, some of the items that we have, identifying those?
No.
That kind of thing? Is that stuff they can do?
You're not sure if they could do that. They could probably handle any kind of basic tasks like repairing armor, resoling shoes, that kind of thing.
Sure. We've probably suffered some wear and tear over the travels. Mend some cloaks, some of our spare clothing.
And if you offer that up to them, they will gather around and take the clothing and cloaks and shoes and anything like that away to be polished and repaired and resewn and relined and resold and all of that. Black.
Awesome.
I know that Tommaso doesn't hand anything over. Black Dog.
Oh, I can send stuff over. I'm sure I got some stuff would help out. Yeah, the basic clothes and stuff like that. None of the stuff I really need, but
Sure.
I mean, I would assume the magic items don't really need tending.
Nope, they self-repair.
Yeah.
And Kathak, do you hand off things?
Yeah.
Okay. Those are probably back within the hour. Anything that you have that given this letter has been treated and polished and done to a shine. Any piece of clothing that you've given them has been expertly resewn. If you had any kind of threadbare lining, they've taken that out and put in new. They've put in pads on the bottom of your boots. They've cleaned up any metal on things you've given them. They've polished to a gleam, and they will distribute that all back to you. And it's probably towards just as they're kind of distributing that out, that you'll hear the woomph that you, Cochanel, will recognize as sort of casual teleportation.
Mm-hmm.
And you will see a figure in the room with you guys.
All right.
And he seems to have actually transformed the wall and kind of made a mirror gate in the wall itself. And I'll put a picture up of him. This is what he looks like.
Classic.
He's like, all right. Which of you is in charge? Who am I talking to? Which one of you is Black Dog?
I'm the dog.
Oh, you're an orc.
Yes. Your powers of observation are really very good. You must be the mage.
And what are you? And he points to Tommaso.
He's a
Humble
mage.
priest.
Priest. All right. And you, and he'll kind of stop when he sees Scott, and he will say, "And how did you do that?"
What do you mean?
He kind of walks forward and he looks at you and he goes, "How is it that you have her soul in you?"
That is a very good question. My friend, I was hoping maybe that you could help me answer it. I've heard your library is extensive.
Perhaps. Huh. But that's not the matter you've come on, is it?
No, we have come on much more important matter.
I assume collecting the debt that's owed to you. I understand that you rendered a small aid to my people at the tower.
Yes. They were under attack by forces of the Siren. And was it the Siren and?
No, what your impression is that it was actually the Leviathan, but they were
There was
attempting.
a Siren there, but the Leviathan killed them too, or something like that.
No, they left signs to indicate that the Siren had been there, but in fact they were the Leviathan.
Oh, okay, because I thought there was a camp of bad guys that all got slaughtered by.
Yeah,
by a
but
dragon.
I don't believe they had marks on them, but I could be wrong on that.
Okay.
You'll say,
So, yeah,
what are you expecting for payment of this? Don't all speak up at once.
What would be?
How about some information?
Certainly, information is fine, though it depends on the kind of information that you require. How is Lady Naisune?
She's dead.
We'll tell him the
Wait.
story.
How was she killed?
It was the Sirens agents, wasn't it?
It was the Leviathan's agents.
Ah, see, got it close. Like, let's see. I
It was
guess
the Leviathan's agents, I'm afraid. But she provided us with some information to give to you. That is one of the other reasons we've come.
All right, fair enough. I will give you some time to explain yourselves and ask your questions. I am busy. I have many things I am doing even as we speak here. And wait, you are the preservationist?
I am the preservationist.
I thought you had been excised.
And she sort of stops and says, I'm sure many people did.
So you've not been excised.
I have not been excised.
All right then. So who wants to go first?
so. You know, Seagon Megrail.
Seagon McGrail.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hold on.
They sent it too.
You see him clearly does some casual enchantments, and he goes, a former employee of mine, yes.
You ever figure out what happened to him?
Seagon McGrail and another employee came here to debrief me after they failed at an adventuring expedition.
And did he tell you anything about what was going on there?
He had some story about the dungeon he'd been sent to explore, but the matter was outside my set of interests, and they weren't able to bring me back anything concrete.
And look at, as we understand it, did he in fact bring them back some? They did bring something back, didn't they?
No,
It was just not what he expected.
they brought back some information and stuff, but it clearly wasn't what he
Uh-huh.
wanted, and they didn't tell him about the god pieces.
Okay. Well, she'll let them talk about that since that's their stuff and their history, but I just wanted to be clear. Sorry.
Did we get any indication from him why they didn't tell him about the god pieces? Did they seem afraid, or were they just greedy, or?
Your sense was it was greed more than anything.
Well, do we want to spill the beans here, or?
I think we need to get some information to give some information. So, are you trying to bring the torrent stall around?
No, Turnstile was a failed expedition. It was a thing I'd heard on, and I sent some people out, but it seemed to not have any cross-referencing with the work that I was doing or the fight that I was doing. I was surprised when Lady Naisune sent me that request for information on it. So no.
She sent you a request on the torrent stall, and then you sent these guys to it, and that was it.
No. She requested on the expedition that I had sent out. I had sent it out several, 5-6 years ago, maybe. That expedition, and then
they just
last
came back.
year, Lady Naisune asked me for what information I had on what had happened, and I sent it to the tower, and I believe you were to exchange that holy symbol for it, which I believe would occurred when you fought the Leviathan agents.
Yeah. So, you didn't hear anything about Unduriak the Nightkeeper?
And Duriak, one of the gods.
Is he surprised at all that an orc has knowledge of what he's, of this thing? I can talk with him about it.
You have the sense that once he's kind of looked around and noted you, he kind of doesn't focus in on you guys at all. Like he kind of doesn't even kind of register that you're there beyond voices. So
Is it a projected image of something?
no, he's clearly that
he's-
his mind is
multitasking.
also
He's
elsewhere.
multitasking. So what does he say about Unduriak the Nightkeeper?
Duriak the Nightkeeper was one of the gods, one of the ones that fell. Am I correct on that? I believe I am. Yes, I am.
Yes, and so you didn't know that Sigon Margrail was looking for the heart of Unduriak the Nightkeeper and found it.
The heart. The heart of a god?
Yes. You didn't know? Did you know that?
I wasn't aware that Sigan McGrail had such ambitions. How did he come to be in possession of the heart?
He was not in possession. He did help find it. We actually found it, and we had possession of it. We saved Sigon McGrail.
All right. Do you give him the full story on what occurred?
I'm actually trying to draw him out and trying to see if I can what sparks his interest to know what the hell I'm trying to figure out what
And he's
the
like,
hell
so,
he's doing.
so Sigan McGrail. So how did Sigan McGrail come to find the heart?
Well, he was taken prisoner by the Tect Templars,
Templars. All right.
who were taken over by demons, who were corrupted by demons.
Demons
we
in
can't-
the service of whom?
That
The Leviathan?
is, let's see,
Did we get that into
No, you didn't get any connection like that.
we were unable to make a connection. Our primary concern was to kill them and get.
And where was
Get out.
this?
this was at Unconquered Port, and so
What kind of demons did you see?
God, they are. I do not have what they were. I don't remember what they were.
I assume you give him a quick rundown.
Yeah.
Okay. I say, all right. Well, I will dispatch people to see to that. What I can uncover about that.
So,
So it seems like he doesn't know what's going. He's not playing us along or anything like that. He surely doesn't seem to know any of this.
He surely doesn't. No.
So, I mean, he's not concerned that we just told him that we had the heart of a god.
He's still kind of a couple bits behind on that, and he will say, so, wait, now, what became of the heart?
Well, we sealed it.
You sealed it?
Why
did it need sealing?
And I'll talk about how it helped with the it was augmenting the gate, or was it? It didn't cause the gate; it was augmenting the gate, right?
Right.
I think it would be easier just to give him what we know.
No, I want to draw him out a little bit, because I'm trying to. We need to find out what his motivations are, because we don't know what they are.
Interesting.
Okay, Lowell, while he's talking, I mean, I'm used to hanging around with old mages and trying to figure out what they're doing. Can I make a roll to kind of figure out what it is that he's tracking? Okay.
Why don't you make a roll for me?
All right, and I'm going to make it based on my thousands of years with them. Oh, God. Why can't I roll decently? Okay, so a 17.
So,
did she just say thousands of years with them offhandedly?
Yes.
Though it's actually only hundreds of years.
Yeah. Here's basically what you guess is going on. He's actually here, physically present, and covered in magical defenses and things, because he doesn't know who you guys are. So while he is here present, he is full up, defensively armored to the teeth. At the same time, he's clearly he's probably animating projections that are carrying out experiments elsewhere in the facility.
So he's distracted.
Yes.
Okay, and she kind of goes, I think that you're going to have to concentrate for a few minutes, Palak, because...
And he will actually... He kind of focuses in on you, and he actually will see... You'll see a wave of kind of real anger pass over his face, and you'll see the servants all kind of stiffen and kind of move back a little bit.
She goes, I only say this because some things happened with Grandfather Turtle, and we had to spend a lot of time sealing this thing.
Well, I am no child of Grandfather Turtle anymore at this point, but I wish to know more about this sealing, so bear with me a moment, and I will... You have interrupted me in the midst of a variety, blah, 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 arcane practices, blah, 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 blah.
And she nods and says, if there is some way that you can place them on...
I will give me a bit, and I will bring my art to a hold for the moment.
All right. Okay.
And he will sort of pause there and hold, and then he will kind of blink and look at you. All right, you have my full attention.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to, because we can do this all night if you want to, but I mean, I'm trying to find out, give him information at a time and try and find out what he's doing. And
why don't you make a charisma roll, Carl?
Yeah, well,
plus
I think
your
when he's
appropriate
away,
skill?
when he's away, I'll talk to who?
Well, actually, why don't we have Scott make charisma plus spy master? He's got a very good set of reading skills. Does that seem reasonable for you guys?
Yeah.
It seems better than me rolling.
No, maybe not.
No, it's still 17.
He's been isolated. He's got his own hobby horses. He's clearly focused on his own set of things that probably are a little bit obscure. He clearly did not like being told to do something. That clearly kind of ticked him off a little bit. But he held it back. You've been told several times that he has a crusade against the siren, and certainly when he's asking questions, he's always asking, was the siren involved, or were these signs, or were these kinds of things there?
Now he's anti-siren, and but he's pro who?
Nobody.
Okay.
Himself.
Pro himself.
Right.
Okay.
Um,
And he's even said that he doesn't care about Leviathan, even though he could destroy the world, because Siren is worse.
yes. You've heard that before, yes. And you also have the sense, Scott, that you guess that probably the reason that the people in the town don't care for him very much is that the school used to support the town quite heavily in ages past, and that he doesn't even kind of realize that there's a town out there anymore.
Okay.
Does that seem reasonable?
Now, Koshnell, Koshnell told us that there is a siren thing going on in town in a few days.
Yeah, but we want to be a little careful about that. Unless
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell him about that. You can deal with that.
Okay.
So
Let's stick to the mission. Let's tell him everything we know about the torrent stall and his agents, and the heart, and potentially other pieces of this god, and what grandfather told us that this this relates to the damage to the Titan and potentially fixing the Titan, because that's really what
and that we have to find 3 ancient sites.
okay.
And so we need him to help us essentially figure out what those are.
I'm going to give you some information, and I'm going to ask you a couple questions about what you tell or say to him. Mm-hmm. So I apologize for the info dump nature of this.
That's fine.
But he will say, we'll kind of go back to the torrent stall. He goes, now, the torrent stall was one of the ruins of the ancients. And the ancients had ties to the gods. The exact nature of that is still a matter of debate, but several of the ruins have been explored in the past. That often carry workings and magics that we still don't understand. The torrent stall was associated with a god in particular, Jar Olin, who was the god of bodies, of healing, and of transformation. But he was one of the walking gods, the gods who didn't reign in heaven so much as they walked around on the earth and then vanished. But that was the association that was the torrent stall. Now,
his agents ran into this other god there, correct?
well, and that's what you tell me, but I wasn't aware. Now, the people that you mentioned, these veil cutters, the group that they encountered, I have over the last few years crossed paths with them a couple of times and have been harassed by them, or rather my people in the outside world have been. So whatever their particular grievance, it still remains. So they are still out there. I can give you some data about the torrent stall and possibly some information on how to locate it. There are 2 other ruins that are parallel to that.
Yes.
One of them is a place called Landark, but that actually is a little more obscure. I can see what I can locate in my libraries on that. It's one that, as my understanding, is that it moves in and out of the world. Whereas the torrent stall rises and appears from under the waters, Landark goes in many different directions.
Did it have a god associated with it?
No, it's not my understanding. My understanding it is another one of the ancient ruins that was in old times connected with the torrent stall.
Okay.
The other one is Harnarum. But that one will be nearly impossible to get to.
Why?
Because it's in the Great Old White.
Do we know what that is?
That's the shark. The giant shark.
Oh, okay, great. Right.
How did it get inside?
He swallowed
He
it.
ate it.
It swallowed cities. The great white shark can swallow cities. And Leviathan is bigger.
Wonderful.
Well, they could be easy to get to. Maybe not so easy to get out of, but you know.
All right.
Okay, so have we revealed to him, for instance, the draconic gems yet?
No.
Okay, and we have not revealed to him the Chinese ladder.
Correct.
Lantern.
Or the heart.
Or the 2.5 links. Do we have the heart with us or?
Yeah. The heart or the links or the disc or the gems or any of that. So which do you want to talk about first?
I would say let's pull out the disc. And I'll show it to him. What do you think of this?
Now, where was this from?
The disc was from
Inside the heart.
Okay, and it was
So we kind of need to do the heart first.
I'm trying to get the least. Well,
Here's what
we
the
could-
again what the disc looks like.
yeah, I got it. It's got all the whatever icons on there, and with three, like a Venn diagram with 3 circles.
Right.
And the Empress is in the middle.
I know. That's because she's the most important one
Apparently, right next
for the
to
stability of the world.
and she's right next to the siren.
We don't put it like that.
So what do you
Okay, well, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the presentation of the magical devices to the what do you're not an archivist, you're the historian.
Preservation.
Preservationist. I'll leave it to her.
All right.
Yes, let's talk about the heart next because that'll dovetail into the disc.
All right, so he'll listen to the discussion of the heart, and he will be he will say, "I know that the gods. I understand they fell from the heavens and that they walk around in physical form, and I know that the various forces are using the few gods who are still walking around, like Cuchulainn. He's certainly a tool in the operations of the Siren." And there may be others, but I wasn't aware that any of them had been killed, or had their mortal forms destroyed. But what you're suggesting to me is that they were more than just destroyed; that they were actually undone in this. Correct?
Broken into component parts by some activity of that group of the veil cutters, right?
Yes.
While they were in the torrent stall.
So something in the torrent stall destroyed a god.
Destroyed the god, and the veil cutters, we assume, knew what they were up to.
All right. And so you sealed the heart.
We sealed the heart.
Father Turtle's help.
All right.
You seem to indicate that this process of breaking the god or undoing the god was not good for the world. And in the process of sealing the heart, we found this, and we'll show them the disc, seeming some kind of representation of the
I will
powers
be right
of
back.
the world.
Sure. He will say, "Well, that looks like Jehernston.
What's Jehernston?
He's a theorist, an old, crazed magical prophet. He had a set of visions, a series of oracular lunacies that spoke of the nature of the icons.
Yes.
He suggested that the icons were forces of the world, some of which had been crafted by the gods, some of which had been chained by the gods, and some of which were simply untamed forces of the world.
All right.
I don't understand the overlap points here, but it certainly looks like that theory.
All right.
Is this bad prophet still actually alive, or is this?
No,
something?
he was actually one of the hunter gods came down on a chariot and slew him.
That speaks to something, though what, I'm not sure.
Well, it speaks to him offending the gods when the gods were still want to kill people who offended them. They don't do that now, do they?
There is that.
We are a much better world for that.
She sort of nods.
defending the guy.
Certainly, I'm not fond of being slaughtered.
All right, so
All right.
that's what I see of the disc. That certainly corresponds to that.
All right. And let's see here. And then from there we go. And then on our way back, we traveled here. And we stopped by a city at which there was the great castle of Blah. What was it again?
Cainvow.
Keenvow.
Oh, I know it. That's an old holy vault, is my understanding.
Yes, and filled with great mechanical puzzles and traps. Though there's some minor magics there, primarily they were all mechanical. It's very show-offy architecture.
Mm-hmm.
She sort of nods. One of the things that we found in the vault, once we got past all the ghouls, was something, a sort of magical machine that, suggested that material similar to a god heart had been put to use previously.
All right.
And she sort of stops and says, and this thing could be wondrous or very dangerous, but we don't know. And she sort of, and then there's the Chinese lantern.
Okay.
She'll
So, in this place is where you saw materials that were similar to this god heart? To the crystal god heart?
To the crystal god heart, after it was sealed.
Have you put the crystal god heart in there, or a part of it?
No, we don't, because we don't know what would happen.
I don't either.
And she sort of stops and says, we didn't know if you had better materials or...
Well, I can certainly set up a containment lab for you should you wish to experiment with that.
We may have to resort to that. She goes, I'm not sure what the state of your lore library is. I, of course, don't have access to the Titan's library at this point.
Kind of. I can give you access to some of it, certainly.
That would
Does
be most
that very reluctantly.
All right. Let's see here. And then what else do we have to offer up as the great things? And then he owes us. He owes these guys something.
The draconic gems?
Yes. Oh, the dragon gems, yes.
He'll say, it's been some time since I've seen this. These
and this is what we believed of Naisunis that they were after?
Yes.
And so it was the Siren that was after him, or the Leviathan?
The Leviathan.
Okay. And we'll say, throughout our travels, the Siren and the Leviathan both have been dogging our heels. And she goes, Leviathan has been interested in these in particular.
That makes sense. You have to understand that when we trained in the early days and worked together, each of us came to appreciate a different aspect of the danger to the world. I understood, and it became clear to me that the Siren was at the heart of things, whereas Lady Naisune certainly, for some reason, seemed to think that the Leviathan, the great old thing, was the danger, and Bernardo Cantavi thought that the War Singer was the danger, and there were others of us who thought that they were other dangers. These, how do I put this?
Bernardo Catavi thought the war singer was the danger,
Yes,
and he was the noble who came to meet us.
yes. And
And
that's
he
at a
betrayed-
game, yes.
Well, no, okay.
He'll say,
I don't remember if he gave his name.
yeah, he did.
And that's why he was killed, because he betrayed the war singer. We don't know that. That's what I'm...
Right, you do.
Yeah, we saw him. He died right in
Well,
front
no,
of us.
I know that, but that's why he died. We didn't know what he had done.
Right.
And apparently he thought they... Okay.
He will say, how best to put this? When a great old dragon, an elder dragon, dies, this is what becomes of its eyes.
Oh, all the things it's seen.
All the things it's seen, all the powers it has. And when a dragon wishes to, how do I put this without sounding like a Pokemon, wishes to evolve to its final form, to become one of the elders, it seeks out these kinds of things. If these are out in the world, there will be dragons hunting for them.
Woohoo! I pluck out my eyes, shove them in.
And she says, you mentioned Natsuni. She was struck down by the Leviathan.
Yes.
Bernardo Cantivi, we saw him also killed by the war singer.
Oh, well, that's a pity.
Yes, and there are agents of Siren all around here.
I know they're out there in the world and they have to be dealt with. If you wish, I can give you a container to hold those eyes.
That would be useful.
It
Now,
will mean yes.
Are dragons associated with the Leviathan traditionally?
They're strongly associated with the Leviathan. Certain colors of them, yes.
Okay.
He'll say, and if I give it to you, it should be able to, so it won't have a drain on your spirit. Then.
That would be good.
And he will gesture, and one of the spirits will go out. Clearly, to go and fetch that. He says, "Well, it is. The hour grows late, and your matters intrigue me. But I should finish the works that I had started on. You will stay this night."
May I ask just real quickly, if you find agents of the Siren in a city, for instance, let's say in the city of Titan, for instance, and you know that there are numerous agents in the city of Titan, what would be the most appropriate way to deal with them?
Well, Titan's a matter is it's under the auspices of a serious authority that have to deal with. It depends on what the local authorities are like.
Well, they're willing to. They're asking you for their advice.
Oh, so they'll give me free reign? Oh, well,
Yes.
certainly I will bring all hellfire down.
Okay, and so let guilty till proven innocent type of thing.
Guilt? Innocence? I don't quite follow what you're saying there. You said they were agents
Well,
of
I mean,
Siren.
there were some, but you don't know who they are. You're trying to find them.
But we're excising the agents of Siren, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then that's what we do.
Okay. So if you're think that a person is an agent of the Siren, and you're not sure.
I would like at least some evidence to that effect. Somebody saying that they're an agent of the Siren is good.
Okay.
More than sufficient.
Well, more than sufficient.
So if I told you right now that, say for instance, Kathak here was an agent of the Siren, would you kill him?
Are we speaking in hypotheticals?
Yes, in a hypothetical.
And merely hypothetical.
And you don't know me.
I don't know you, and you've presented that you're speaking merely hypotheticals, and so, as you've now told me this, I'm certainly not going to kill him. I will, however, be more wary because there's obviously some reason that you pointed to him in this discussion. So I will
No.
certainly have more caution.
But I could be an agent of the Siren telling you that he's an agent of the Siren.
Really?
And he's here, look at Black Dog and go,
Well, dog,
sort
Black Dog, perhaps we should all retire for the evening. Your room is there?
Yes! Can we request rooms not so close?
God.
I could sign the loyalty oath if you would prefer before I...
He will say, I must attend to my matters,
Sure,
but
it's
tomorrow
convenience.
we will speak on this again, and I will give you further answer and access to my libraries at that point. Reasonable?
Yes.
That seems reasonable. I would love to speak with you further.
All right. And that's where we're going to stop tonight, guys. Since you got a bunch of info dump, we'll finish this up, the discussion with Palak, and he'll point you towards some things next time. Does that seem reasonable?
Yes.
Sure.
Sorry, this is a very talky session.
No, this is good. I mean,
Okay.
this is the whole world, and we've been trying to deal with this guy for a long time, and so putting the stuff together. I mean, good notes mean something.
All right. Yeah, you guys have picked up on a lot of stuff that I didn't think you'd had in your heads.
Yeah.
Plus,
well,
Matt got
no,
the murderer guy.
I don't have any of them in my head, so I'm writing them down. Shit, it's too big.
All right. This is good stuff.
All right.
It's not murder if you kill him for spouting improper religion.
Yeah,
That
he's
is
a
what
heretic.
Palak would say.
That's
Absolutely.
what a lot of people say.
We have a kindred spirit
Yes.
with you. I'm not interested in hearing your version of what the truth is. I'll just kill you since it differs from mine.
All right.
I'm just wondering what my fellow shadow agent is up to while we're doing all this.
Yes, you're wondering, aren't
We're
you?
providing a distraction, a perfect distraction. It was awfully nice of me.
All right. That's what we'll take up next week. I will talk to you later, guys.
Later.
Uh,